Hi, I'm Joy Lawrence. Welcome to my language use presentation. In this video, I'm going to go over some different language strategies that writers will use to add flavor to their short stories and poems. There are many other types of language use strategies that writers use, and I do want you to look over the ones that are in our textbook. I wanted to go over a few of them here with you in this video to kind of give you an idea of what they're all about. This first one is alliteration. And this is when you have the repetition of consonant sounds, like this P in Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So you have that p, p, p repeated over and over again. Writers will do this if they want to slow something down, if they want a reader to really take notice and have something stand out. Imagery is one of the most popular ones for students to identify when they are doing their literary analysis assignments. Imagery is when you describe something using the senses. You bring in something to allow readers to see, hear, taste, touch, or feel whatever it is that you're trying to describe. So instead of saying it was a really heavy storm, which doesn't give us a visual of what it was like, the lightning crackled as the rain poured down into instant puddles on the ground, gives us the sound with crackle. It gives us the visual of puddles forming on the ground. So those are two things right there. We can see something, we can hear something. So when you're doing your language use analysis in some of your literary analysis assignments, you want to think about how you can apply this. So what is it that they're describing? Are they describing a character that you can now really see? Is there a smell in the house that they're describing? So if you're pointing out imagery in a story or a poem, then you'll think about that. What are they helping you hear, see, taste, touch, or smell? A simile is when a writer makes a comparison between two things using the words like or as. So those directions are as useless as a chocolate teapot. Here we have the word as. So that makes it a simile. A metaphor is a lot like a simile, whereas a metaphor makes a comparison without using the words like or as. A simile uses the words like or as. So William Shakespeare once said, "All the world's a stage." If he had said, "All the world is like a stage," then that would have been a simile, not a metaphor. Personification is when you give life or human characteristics to something that is not human. So here, the house is described this way. The rundown house seemed depressed. Now, the house can't be depressed. Humans are depressed. Humans have emotions. Houses don't have emotions. But if the writer wants us to see a house in a certain way, they might use descriptions that are usually reserved for humans to describe it to help us connect. Hyperbole is a fun one. It's when you use intentional exaggeration to make a point. So we do this all the time. We go to grab our bags and we say, "This weighs a ton." We're not trying to deceive our friends into thinking it really weighs a ton. We're just exaggerating for effect. "This is heavier than I want it to be." So here, this picture I like because you know that there's no way that this fish actually exists. But you know that the story, the tall tale that this person is going to tell us, it's going to be a good story. And it's probably going to have some kind of point if we're using it as hyperbole. Onomatopoeia is the last one I wanted to go over with you. Onomatopoeia, these are words that sound like whatever they're describing. So I've got these words that are often used in comic books because this is a way that they deliver sound. And also things like cock-a-doodle-doo. I mean, that's a rooster and that's supposed to be what a rooster sounds like. Or ring, that's supposed to be like the ringing of a phone. That's supposed to be what it sounds like. And again, writers will use this to make something stand out, to grab the reader's attention. So when you're doing your language analysis in your literary analysis assignments, think about how the writers are using their language and what effect those have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.